today's show, Grimace assassinated but doing well, plus a spooky story about a dastardly fiend. This is Vulo Lives.
Darkness spreads from shore to shore. Now it knocks upon your door. Will you open? Will you see the cat girl's face looking back at thee?
Hello, I'm Vulo the Face Borrower, here with world-famous McDonald Land mascot Grimace. Welcome to the show. I gotta say, you're looking great. Especially considering your recent back alley murder. Yeah, that was a rough day for little Grimace. Well, thankfully, the murder doesn't seem to have stuck, and you're alive once again. Tell me, are you still working for McDonald's?
Happy to say that part of little baby Grimace's life is over.
Oh, well, I'm very glad to hear that. It did seem like the McDonald's gig was giving you a lot of stress.
I took a lot of abuse at that job, most of it from the clown himself. I always knew that leaving would mean my death, but to stay and get killed anyway. Well, I'm gone now. And what's that bozo gonna do, kill me twice?
I mean, he might. He might kill you twice. The one true moon thinks I'm being unhelpful. My apologies. Was Ronald McDonald ever formally charged for his involvement in your assassination?
McDonald's makes $20 billion a year. What do you think?
I think that no-good clown probably got away with it.
There's no justice in this world. Not for little babies like me.
You're like 50, right? How long do Grimaces stay babies?
I stopped being a little baby and started being a little man the moment that bullet hit the back of my head. But when I crawled away from heaven's light and fell back down into this miserable world, I was reborn as a little baby again.
So your life thus far is 50-some years of being a baby. A brief flash of being a little dying guy. And now with any luck, another 50 years of baby?
That's the long and the short of it.
There was some debate in the death science community over how you managed to stop being dead. Because you definitely were dead for like 2 whole weeks.
It's not that complicated. I got a lot of weird stuff in my purple bag body. I'm a big beanbag full of weird stuff.
And that weird stuff brought you back to life?
I once lost a big chunk out of my side. A couple days later, it just filled back in. Weird stuff.
How'd you lose a whole chunk?
The clown had me riding around in a motorized baby carriage for a commercial.
I don't think I've seen that one.
How I Met Grimace, 1981. Look it up. Anyway, the carriage had to go down all these stairs. It was a big stunt, but not so big on safety.
And you lost a chunk?
The very first take, the carriage was going way too fast, and the bounces were just too big. I fell out of the thing and got caught up in the wheels. Those motorized suckers just kept spinning and basically dremeled a good chunk out of my side.
Dang.
The worst part was I had to climb back in and keep shooting the commercial. The clown even made me pick up my own chunks.
That sounds like a pretty big ouchie wawa. I'm being unhelpful again, thank you, Moon. Why do you think that dastardly crime clown Ronald McDonald hired an assassin to kill you? Allegedly.
I worked for the guy most of my little life, and if there's one thing I learned, it's that he's a clown who wants to be respected. And I said a lot of disrespectful stuff about the lout.
Well, I hope he doesn't get you again. I hope Ronald McDonald doesn't, allegedly kill you again.
Can we talk about something else? My murder's still kind of a sore subject.
Of course, let's move on before the moon yells at me again. Anything in particular you'd like to talk about?
Toes.
I don't know about that, Grimace.
I've been a toe guy for as long as I can remember. And being murdered gets one thinking about what's important.
And what's important is toes?
Yeah, it's the only thing I got right in my whole miserable life. I should have spent less time sucking up to the clown and more time sucking down those toes.
So now you're following your bliss.
That's one way to put it.
Any hobbies? Outside of the toe thing? Actually, now that you mention it, I've been getting really into music. Doing a lot of songwriting. Well, this is exciting news. I love music. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it myself. Think we could hear a song? I'll do you one better. I brought my first music video with me. Oh, so it's a whole thing already. All right, goodness, let's get that queued up right away. I appreciate it. This'll be my big debut. Here's a new hit music video from up-and-coming musical artist Grimace.
T-O-E-S, toes, I love them so much, and yet at the same time they make me so mad as well. Tippy-tap, tappy toes, you might go as far as saying that I have a love-hate relationship with toes wiggling around like they own the place. My mouth, he says differently, lick, lick, put those little pigs on my pig face. Yummy, yum, yum, yummy, yum, 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 yum. Gotta suck everyone. Now your toes are all mine.
I don't believe in kink shaming, so I'm not sure what to say. You gotta make art about what's important to you. I'm glad things seem to be going well for post-McDonald's Grimace. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I sucked a lot of toes before, but recently, wow, you can't imagine. I can't and won't. Let me tell you a little story. Not sure I want to hear it. It's about Joe Biden. He invited me to the White House, you know, after I came back to life. You know what? Maybe I do want to hear this. So I'm sitting in the Oval Office, waiting to meet the big guy. Real nice room. Old, but classy. I've been there. That's where I got this desk. That's actually where I'm going with the story. I was waiting for Joe and just staring at his desk, trying to figure out where I had seen it before. Did they have a replica made? You got it. Once I realized it was actually your desk, I started examining the small details, and I could tell it had all been put together in a rush. How so? The wood was too new, the edges didn't seem time-worn, and the carvings looked like they had been done in a hurry. It wasn't bad work, but it was clearly a fake once you got really close to it. Anyway, I was really going over the desk every inch when I decided I'd have a little look-see inside the drawers. Uh-oh, I think I might know where this is going. I opened one, then another, and inside every drawer, every single one, piles of human hair. Yep, I had to do a lot of hair removal when I yoinked this bad boy. At first I couldn't tell what I was looking at, but once it clicked, God. For the first time in my life, I felt like I understood a president. Cause he loves sniffing hair? He just seems like the kind of guy I could suck a toe with. That's what you want in a president. As I was sorting through the hair, admiring the collection, in walked the man himself. There was no hiding what I had done, so I just put the hair back, shut the drawers, nodded my head, and said, "Mr. President." Hey, if he didn't want someone finding his hair collection, he should have locked his drawers. We all have a desire to be known, and he's constantly sniffing hair in public. It's not some big secret. So, did you get kicked out? Far from it. To my complete and total surprise, he sat down on a chair and started taking off his shoes. We should cut to a sponsor. Do we have a sponsor this week? His eyes never left mine. His right shoe popped off, then his left. I really should have responded to that NordVPN email. He took his time with the socks. I thought, here's a president with experience. This is great. I'm glad to be hearing all of this. Moments later, when I had Joe Biden's little toesies wiggling around my mouth, I realized for the first time that I was actually glad I had come back to life. Inspirational. And a perfect note to end the show on. Thank you so much for being here, Grimace. Anytime, really. Stay tuned, everyone. Coming up next is a spooky story from our spooky story correspondent, Relno the Storykeeper. Yeah, still got that desk hair? Asking for a friend.
Hello, friends. I am Relno the Storykeeper, here with a frightful tale to chill your bones. This is the coming of the valuable fiend. Our story begins in the 1940s, Albania. Post-World War II, Albania was run by the Democratic Front, a political group of anti-fascist communists created by resistance fighters who had fought the invading forces of both Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. 30,000 Albanians had died in the war, and almost 10% of the population had been left homeless thanks to hundreds of destroyed villages. Things were dire, but the Democratic Front had solid plans to rebuild the country and empower the struggling
ruling masses. Of course, a certain fiend had other plans. It began as a trickle. People began arriving by air, land, and sea, trained by the fiend to, and I quote, blow things up and generally cause lots of destruction. You see, the fiend, being a fiend, cared not about the homeless and hungry, but did care very deeply about those homeless and hungry potentially becoming communists. This fiend, of course, was the CIA, and also MI6. It was a sort of collab. MI6 named their operation Valuable, and the CIA named theirs Fiend. When fused together, they became the Valuable Fiend. Unfortunately for the CIA and MI6, the Albanian communists were extremely good at recognizing well-funded fiends, and so nearly every agent was captured before they were able to cause all that much mischief. You might think this a happy ending, but the Fiend first and foremost considered Albania a testing ground for fiendish deeds to come. Deeds that, I fear, continue to this very day. That's all for now. I'm Relno the Storykeeper, reminding you to stay spooky. Mr. President,